Breachman! Filth! You're no Reachman. Stendar's finally seen it fit to grant me a little mercy. He did? Not Isabeth? I'd hoped she'd gotten the others to the camp by now. She rescued a Weirus, and a villager named Laetiel. The Weirus said they're holding an area beneath the alien ruins. Isa said she'd go and see about an alliance. I told them to leave me here. I'd only slow them down with these wounds. Yes, one of the women of the woods. I was taught never to trust them, but Isa thought they could help us retake Northglen and keep the Reachmen out of Evermore. She might still be with them on the shore. There's an entry to the ruins there.
Thank you. I hope to see you back at the camp. Elgeni's outdone herself.
Another one. Curious. What do you want? She was here. She returned our sister to us, so we are in her debt. The other has a sickness within her, of an unknown kind. We will keep the sick girl away from the land, lest she spread an incurable disease through our woods. If you're curious, speak to Weirus Delphique. She's within the ruins.
By the look of things, you're probably one of the ones fighting the Reachmen. That's good. We don't have dissimilar goals, but remember, that doesn't make us friends.
Hello.
Hello there.
I keep thinking how that could have been me. Yes, the Dark Witnesses caught me while scouting the chapel. I'm in Isabeth's debt for finding me. A few moments longer, and the Reachmen may have done to me what they did to Laetiel. The Dark Witnesses planted something inside of her. I'm not sure what sort of Reach magic they used to get in there, but a sickness grows in her. As I'm in Isabeth's debt, Weirus Delphique and I have been hoping to find a cure. None so far. Delphique has a final plan, but if it doesn't work, we'll know there is no cure. At least none we can create.
Hello.
Hail.
Where's Asteria let you in? I trust she had good reason. What drove you to seek me in this house of stone? Ah, you seek this child. She goes nowhere. She's infected and I must determine what it is she carries inside her. It's a seed for certain, though what the Dark Witnesses have cultivated in the fields of Northglen is a mystery. I've one last attempt at a cure. You're just in time to witness the results. Watch and remember what you are about. First, I'll expose the corruption. Look, you can see it plainly. Now to see if I can purge it. Foul creature, be gone! Well, that didn't go as planned. Disturbing, to say the least. So the Dark Witnesses would turn us all into their puppets to reinforce their army and take Evermore. We can't allow that to happen. I tried to draw out the evil, but my spell agitated it, transformed her into one of those abominations roaming Northglen. Small wonder we've seen no prisoners. They've turned them. And as their army grows, so does the threat on the Viridian Woods. The Evermore soldiers? And why should we trust them? If we left the Viridian Woods, they'd cut down our trees in days, and mine the land with no regard for the life harbored there. Take this rune to wither the Reachman's markers in the fields, then cut off Dureg's head. Prove yourself on our side as well, and I'll meet the captain Isabeth spoke of. She left, said she had to search the farmhouses. Are you stalling, or do you truly believe we can trust the soldiers of Evermore? Isabeth spoke of an alliance too before she left. Well, you can finish her work. Will you take Dureg's head or not? Luck be with you. We'll journey to the Evermore camp if you complete the job. We're closely tied to the land, so we'll know when you've been successful. Reachman effigies that Dureg conjured out of the earth. Perhaps remnants of power they left behind. They're the source of the seeds they cultivate in the fields. Destroy the markers, and you destroy the seeds. This land used to be theirs, and not so long ago. They're here to reclaim it. It's why Evermore is such a prize to them. Perhaps we'd let them remain if they didn't pose such a threat to the Viridian Woods. Reachmen know no boundaries. Whatever the Dark Witnesses are using, it consumes the victim. Had this child lived, she would have attacked. We've been observing them. Their power increases in numbers. Yes, we believe a seed is forced inside. It takes root within the heart. As you saw, any real attempt to remove them only spurs on the growth and takes the victim to the final phase. Reachman effigies that Dureg conjured. This land, it's empowered with weird magic. When it comes into contact with the marker, the magic will course through it, withering it to the point where nothing is left but dust. The magic will penetrate deep enough to reach the seeds it produces.
For the love of Mara, I didn't think I'd see the end of this day. Did Captain Gayercroft, my father, send you? I know Durake's plan. He has stores of seeds he plans on using to turn the innocent into pawns for his army. You must destroy the stores. With Durake out of the way and his weapon destroyed, it will leave this army without a leader and a plan. I'm badly injured. Whatever Durake was doing to me, probably trying to implant one of those seeds like the others, has left me too weak. You need to go. Finish the mission without me. Besides, if he was successful, I may compromise everything. Perfect. One of Elgeni's, I bet. This will do nicely. Trying to implant me like the rest. He said he was adding me to his ranks. That I'd be the perfect weapon. And he'd watch as I attacked my own father, and my father would have to kill me. I fell unconscious from the pain moments later. I recognize it, and it's one of Elgeni's best. The poultice does more than heal. It grants invisibility. But if you engage any of the Reachmen after you use it, the spell will break. No. I only found one survivor, and the Glenmoral Weird wouldn't let her go. I found Ulmad and Bendeus dead. But Hotme, did you find her too? I never should have left her alone. My father, that is, Captain Gayercroft, will be disappointed. You don't know him. He only acknowledges me when I'm doing something wrong. He calls me Isabeth the Impatient, Isabeth the Ignorant. Since I disobeyed orders, I bet he's got plenty to say about me today. I recognize it. Perfect. One of Elgeni's. I recognize it. The woods are no place for a princess. The woods welcome you. Know that the creatures here are neither enemies nor friends. There are hunters and prey. For you? Perhaps. The Viridian Sentinel once kept the wild at bay for the folk of Bankurai, but his power wanes. Soon he may regret saving the Princess of Evermore. Her mother already mourns her death, so why interrupt the natural course? Gravely wounded, but yes, Princess Alara is here. The Sentinel tends to her, and it takes all his power to draw her away from death. He would welcome aid if you wish to give it. We Weird have fulfilled our part of the bargain and shall offer no more. We'll be at the Standing Stones by Viridian Lake. His power is strongest there. Look for the broken statue. It overlooks the altar where he works. The Sentinel is part of an ancient pact made long before living memory. A guardian of the woods of sorts, who anoints his or her successor without needing our approval. Not all Weird believe we should continue to honor the pact. The Glenmoral Weird were not a party to the original pact. It's only our connection to the forest which binds us to it. The Sentinel is no true ally to the Weirises of the Viridian Wood. His sway over the natural order is anything but natural. The forest is old and powerful. Long ago, a man not of the forest found a way to harness the forest's power and bend it to the will of his people. They called him the Viridian Sentinel. The title and its power has been passed down for generations. If I had a seed for every man, woman, and child who asked me that, I'd cover the land in ivy in a fortnight. We are of the forest, and the forest is of us. That is all an outsider needs to know.
As the Sentinel, I must warn you that these woods aren't safe. But as old girls, I'm glad to see a friendly face. I remember when that child wasn't more than a knee's height, and now she's laid out like a corpse. She was attacked and left for dead by the wayside like a beast. Well, she won't die on my watch, not if you can help me. Around the lake, you'll find rings of mushrooms, fairy rings. But fairies aren't what I need. Take my amulet. Get down in the center of the rings and feel the earth. I need the energy from there to keep Alara alive. I need to take the child back to my hut. It's just up the hill a bit. Can't miss it. Well, the weird won't call me anything different. Most people who live around here call me old girls or just Stenwick. The Viridian Sentinel is a bit of a mouthful, don't you think? Makes me sound more important than I really am. Well, these woods have a life and a mind of their own. Well, what I do is make sure it doesn't get out of hand. There's some good folk who live near these lands, and without a firm hand, why, the wild would grow right over them. Me? I'd left Evermore and decided to live my life in the woods. And I met a man here, the previous Sentinel. He needed help, and I stayed with him. When he grew too weary, he blessed me with the title. A long, long time ago. Once I even worked as a royal gardener in Evermore. Well, I'm more comfortable in the woods. It's where I belong. I was younger, I could instantly purge the poison running through this young lady's veins. Now it takes all my strength just to keep her breathing. The poor dear. Just in time. I've made a salve for Alara that'll help her wake. I'll channel what energy I have left into her. The amulet should be able to sustain me afterwards. At least I hope it will. This will just take a moment. Took more out of me than I thought. Go on, give it to the poor girl. I'll be all right.
I was asleep? What am I doing in this hovel? And who are you? No, I remember. Stenwick brought me here. I was sick. Apologies, but I still don't remember who you are. Then you have my gratitude. I feel weak, but not unwell. It seems my outer wounds have all been healed. Tell me, stranger, how fares Evermore? Is my mother well? My father? I see. My mother must be in mourning then. I will send word that I am well, if Stenwick is willing. Ah, we have company, it seems. Who's coming in?
The forest feels your weakness, Sentinel. This is
Enter
treacherous
Demara.
ground.
Was that a warning or a threat?
Stenwick. Who's this? A Weiress?
Yes, child. You will know more of them soon enough.
Is that so? You're more foolish than I thought, old man.
Don't think anything of this. The weird are a strange folk. The weird and I have always had a tenuous relationship, but saving Alara was something I needed to do regardless of their objections. It will make this process harder than it needs to be, but I still have some spirit in me yet. It's quite complicated. Suffice to say, they don't think I should use the forest power for such things. Of course, they'd much rather I didn't exist at all. But it changes nothing. There's work to be done, and I'm not getting any younger. Oh, my salve was but a reprieve, I fear. In order to safeguard Alara, I need to do something drastic, and I'll need the Weird's help. You've seen the Spriggans of the forest, I'll bet. There's one that's much older and much wiser than the rest of them. Some call her the voice of the forest. In a way, she is. I need a bud from one of her branches, one freely given. It can harness the full power of these woods to safeguard Ilara's life. May I ask your aid once again? They are guardians of nature in the truest sense, and I am a guardian of the people. Our interests don't always coincide. They see my role as Sentinel as unnatural, though the Sentinel has existed for generations. My salve was but a reprieve, I fear. In order to safeguard Alara, I need to do something drastic, and I'll need the Weird's help. You've seen the Spriggans of the forest, I'll bet. There's one that's much older and much wiser than the rest of them. Some call her the voice of the forest. In a way, she is. Find the voice of the forest. Take my amulet. Its power is spent, but the voice of the forest will recognize it and grant you an audience. Weiris Demara may not welcome you when you take the bud to her, but persevere. She knows what the Weird must do.
I won't sit here and let you do all the work. We have to find the voice of the forest. If Stenwick needs a Spriggan bud, then I'll do anything to get it for him. I suppose you're right. I'll stay here with Stenwick. But this forest voice, if it's like a Spriggan, it will react to their deaths. I bet you could kill some Spriggans to draw it out. And if we never find it? No. Kill the Spriggans. It's the best chance to do this quickly. Probably, but they're animals. I don't see any other way to reason with them. Stenwick needs the bud, and we don't have time to coddle the Spriggans. We need their cooperation, whether they intend to give it or not.
voice of the forest should make itself known to you. You'll have to keep your eyes open for a sign. Of course, there's other, less subtle ways of getting its attention. They say the forest... It's a long story, one that's hardly worth the breath to tell. How should I explain this? In another life, I owed the Queen a debt. When her daughter needed aid, I had to help.
Greetings.
Our lives are simple, and our motives pure. There's nothing better than a clear conscience, is there? I welcome questions from the honestly curious, unlike some of my sisters. We are rarely visited by people with genuine interest in our lives. The woods offer us shelter, food, and water. You see everything we have laid out before you. What we need, we have. Living in a village places so many burdens on its people. Conform, obey, suppress. Our lives aren't like that. I'm a trainer, and a learner. I train with our wolves, but I've learned from them too. There's so much more to life than buying and selling. I was a part of all that hustle once, but now I'm free. I live my own life. It's a blessing. My birth family made it clear I was unwelcome. Tainted, they called me. Stupid. My daughter and I were abandoned in the woods. This is my family now. The Weird welcomed us with open arms and taught us how to survive. She's around somewhere. I don't need to watch her every minute. I know she can take care of herself, in whatever way she chooses.
Hello again. Ah, it's you.
The voice of the forest should make itself.
We have to find the voice of the forest. If Stenwick needs a sprig and bud, then
disturbs the woods with the Sentinel's binding as a token. Has the forest not bent to the whims of the Sentinel already? What more can we give? So, he may pass our yoke to another, a stranger to the woods. Your demand is empty, voice of the Sentinel. I refuse. Why should we care for a mortal? The Sentinel cannot, but perhaps you can. The amulet prevents the woods from cleansing itself. Sprouts lie sleeping within the troll's offal. Use the amulet to wake them and add to our number. Then I will grant you this boon. Already the woods are defiled by habitations such as this. We can never recover. Then take your prize, mortal, and be gone.
Make sure to watch your step. These woods are not as friendly as they used to be.
A familiar scent surrounds you. Did the Sentinel send you? What do you hold? How dare the Sentinel pick his successor out of pity? But she didn't bring us the bud, you did. Why should we give our blessing to one who needs another to carry her burdens? He didn't even trust you enough to tell you, did he? Let the Sentinel explain it to you when you next see him. I'll do my part and no more. Where is this princess who is greater than the needs of nature? Too weak to even follow you? No, the forest does not need such a creature. The Sentinel oversteps his bounds, and the Weird will not allow it.
If you have something to say, you'll say it to my face.
I will. You are weak, fit for little more than prey. How do you hope to wield the Sentinel's power?
Stenwick is trying to save my life. I don't know what he has planned, but I certainly owe it to him to see this through.
The child knows nothing, and he expects us to offer our blessing?
I don't know what Stenwick is planning, but if it'll save my life, I trust him. I don't understand why these weird people can't see that. Sounds like jealousy to me. It won't stand in my way. I won't give up a second chance at life for the whims of some forest folk. Stenwick is a kind man. Why won't they see that he means no harm? Why? She pretends to be in charge of everything. And we've already received the bud from the voice of the forest. That's good enough for me. And it ought to be enough for the likes of her.
Once the Viridian Sentinel stood for something more than a wet nurse to spoil children. Now he expects us to train and rear this daughter of the city as our own? No. The Sentinel asks too much. His time wanes. He will make this girl the new Sentinel, untrained and unfit. He holds no respect for the forest and no respect for the weird. What does it matter to us if one child withers to allow the forest to grow free, I ask you? We've heard nothing from the Sentinel these past days but demands. Still, we will do what must be done. Perhaps we can trust you to make the correct decision when the time comes. Althine will help you prepare it. For the Sentinel's ritual, he needs a Spriggan bud, freely given. You have obtained that, but the bud will not bloom without nurturing. I hope you aren't squeamish about blood. But sister, you said this was the last time we would help the Sentinel. Come. Let us finish the blessing and be done with it. Come along, then. We have a sacrifice ready. When I say, hold the bud out in your hands, keep them steady, no matter what happens. Plunge it into the offering. Quickly! That's it. The bud is ready. Take it to the girl, Ilara. I can't believe Damara continues to help the Sentinel on this mad scheme. We will all suffer for his generosity in the end. The girl knows nothing of the woods, and it will cost us all dearly.
The weird have stalled long enough. Stenwick isn't healthy, and we must do what he asked before it's too late. Go to him. Tell him what we've done. I'm short of breath and must save my strength. I have a feeling they don't dare harm me as long as I'm under Stenwick's protection. We'll see if I guessed correctly. Of course. And this bud may heal Stenwick, the way he healed me. We'll need to use it if we're to save him. Take him to that altar in the lake. I'll meet you there.
I was hoping you'd return before... I couldn't speak to you one last time. It's good Alara's not with you. I'd hate for her to see me in such a state.
Time, my friend. I gave my everything to heal Alara, and still it won't be enough. That's why I sent you to get the Spriggan bud. The only way she'll live past a fortnight is if she becomes the Sentinel. And luckily there'll be a vacancy shortly. In a sense, the power of the Sentinel is immortal. I'm old, but Alara is young. The Sentinel's power will take root and flourish in her. The weird fear what she will become, but you can't let that stop you. Take my essence. When I'm gone, save Alara. Tell her she must tame the will of the woods. The bud will summon, and the amulet will bind. The weird certainly won't help, considering they'd much rather see this power go to waste. Don't let the Sentinel's power fade. It must live on in Alara.
Thought he'd be here by now. Where is Stenwick? He gave everything to keep me alive, even his life. I don't even know what to do now. Does that mean I'm doomed to die as well? That was his plan all along, wasn't it? And I never got to thank him. If this is what he wanted, then I must see it through. You still have his amulet? Take it to the altar. We'll say a few words for him. So these moats are all that's left of dear Stenwick. What's that sound? Can you hear it?
We meet again, ally of the Viridian Sentinel. Now you seek to subjugate these woods once again. We will see if you can succeed. How I long to watch you stumble and fail. But an ancient pact compels me to explain the rite. One simply has to gather the moats about the lake. But beware, we are not without our own defenses. Then there will be no Viridian Sentinel. The yoke about our necks for centuries would be freed. Of course, there is one way to ensure the princess does not become the Sentinel. Destroy the Spriggan bud I gave you, and she will fail. It is true, but we have endured a slow death for much longer. Man was not meant to rule over nature. No matter their intentions, they cannot know the will of the woods. The Viridian Sentinel is a mockery of nature's true cycle. The torches on either side would suffice. Their flames and your intention are more than enough. You are the one with the power to change this mortal.
I think I'm better now. Gods, what is this place? I didn't think we'd be able to pull through at the end, but we did. We did! You can't imagine how this feels. I had no idea Stenwick had this kind of power. I can feel the earth. I can taste the wind. It's like every piece of this forest is a part of me. I will remain here, a part of these woods forever. Could I even command the beasts? It seems that it would have been a trivial matter. More than that, the rocks themselves give me strength. I feel immortal. Apologies, my friend. This power, it's heady, like a deep, cold pool. Refreshing, but so easy to fall into. I have much to learn, it seems. We met only briefly, but the forest will remember your deeds forever. I will make sure of it. So much has happened to me. It's hard to think clearly. No, I belong here, in these woods. Eventually, the Weird and I will come to terms. I see our past and present through the eyes of the Sentinel. There will never be love between us, but understanding is not too much to ask.
And now another young one puts the forest under her heel. We will see if she's strong enough to survive on her own. The Weird will have no part in this Sentinel's charge. He understood what the Sentinel meant, but she did not. Perhaps we might have reached some sort of compromise. Or perhaps not. The Sentinel's mantle was never meant to be used this way. He broke the pact with the forest as far as I'm concerned. Father!
Scout Isabeth, you put this company at risk by disobeying orders. Thanks to our new ally here, the Weird agreed to help us drive out the Reachmen. I hope you... Where is Delphique? What is the meaning of this?
I thought as much. Captain Garecroft, your scout is infected. Kill her if you wish to maintain this alliance.
I won't kill her based on your word.
Then trust your new ally's word.
I'll make my own judgment. I don't take orders from you.
Father, stop! So it's true. I'm infected. That must be why Elgeni's poultice didn't fully heal me. I wasn't conscious for a while after they captured me. He had time to... Is what Wyrus Delphique says true? Everything I've been through. For this? And my own father won't even acknowledge me as his daughter. But it's worth it, right? My life for an alliance that will save Evermore. I'll let Delphique know I'm ready. I'm sure she won't hesitate, and my father won't stop her. Evermore has always taken priority for him. Evermore and duty. Maybe I follow in his footsteps after all. I've made my decision, Father.
Isabeth, don't be foolish. You can't think straight.
No, Father. I've never been so clear. Wyrus Delphique? Do it. Now, before I change my mind.
Isabeth! The Weird expect an alliance now after they murder my daughter in cold blood? They're lucky I don't have them all killed here and now. After what the Weird did to my daughter, the Weird has killed her without hesitation. I can't have that unpredictability among my soldiers. Isabeth was a foolish girl. I should have disciplined her better. Made her stronger. She never followed orders. I knew this way of life would get her killed. How can I possibly consent to this alliance with her blood on their hands? Yes, Evermore needs this alliance. But I need... Isabeth's sacrifice will be remembered. You've proven yourself as a great ally to Evermore. I'll agree to this alliance. Together, we'll drive out the Reachmen.
Even together, my sisters and these soldiers can only prevent these Reachmen from advancing further south. Defeating the Dark Witnesses for good will require that someone goes deeper into their territory to kill the Hagraven, Yuella. With the Crows as her spies, Yuella is everywhere. But the Hagraven's physical form is assuredly deep in Reachman-held territory. My sisters have been searching for her, but it will take time. The foul creature has wards that block weird magic. You would venture up to Jackdaw Cove? Yuella's influence has corrupted everything there. It's wretched, but if you are willing, I will not try to dissuade you. Search for my sisters near Jackdaw Cove. Perhaps with your help, Yuella can be destroyed.
Thank you for all you've done here. Today has given me a lot to reflect on.
I hear we're to be allies with the city dwellers now. I suppose if it saves our home, it's for a good cause. Especially with the added bonus of ridding ourselves of the Reachmen.
Self-sacrifice is rare these days. I hope Captain Gayercroft is finally proud of his daughter. Not that he wasn't. Perhaps now he'll finally show just how much she meant to him.
This alliance is foreign to us. I think we're all concerned about working together, but at least our common enemy is worth it.
If I am not mistaken, you are a friend to Princess Ah. Safe roads to you.
Well,
You, over here.
I suppose some... I'm in the orphan...
Well? What do you want?
What is it?
I admit it, I'm attracted to thieves and villains. That's why I like to hang around places like this. It's full of such interesting people. Are you an interesting person? I think you are. So which one are you? A thief or a villain? I have to know.
Once you ask us to store an item of yours, our guarantee is that nobody will ever touch it again. Except for you.
I'm not in this for the gold. I'm going to be the most famous thief in all of Tamriel. More famous even than Morala the Cruel. I just need to steal something special. Something that will make me a legend. Let me know if you have any leads.
If you'd seen what I've seen.
Have you come looking for a steed?
Bye, Zenithar. It's good to see... Bye, Zenithar. It's good to... Bye, Zenithar. It's...
The Imperial threat's over, for now at least. But the Reachmen are.
You're the one who helped that treasure hunter at Badwater Mine. Must have been exciting.
I'm desperate.
Stendarr must be in a giving mood today.